busiest movie and television studio. So showing you around is no easy task for anybody. It's exactly why we invite our old buddy, from The Tonight Show, the manager over for the great Jay Leno, as well as his days at Saturday Night Live, Mr. Jimmy Fallon, to help us out here today.
Hey there, you made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
And
the greatest driver.
Brandon.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
one of them
owes me $5.
That's right. Please remain seated at all times, keeping arms and legs inside of the vehicle. Because he is smoking. No, there's no smoking on the vehicle. Lastly, be prepared for just about anything today, including some, loud noises, fire effects, sudden tram movements, and a slight possibility of getting a tiny bit wet. But I would not worry about getting wet, unless you're sitting in one of the blue seats. Those do tend to get very wet. They're all blue. Now out here at Universal, not only do we film dozens of movies at a time, but also television shows, commercials, music videos, and why not? We've been at this business for over 100 years. March 15th, 1915, we open our doors to the public. You can recreate it all inside of a soundstage where we'll have control over elements like sound, time of day, weather. As we leave the theme park far behind now, we're going to be entering onto the front lot, which houses the majority of our sound stages. In fact, right in front of us is upcoming soundstage number 12. Third largest soundstage in the world. It's inside of there that some of Hollywood's biggest moments took place. We're talking about building Frankenstein's lab inside of soundstage 12. Dracula's castle inside of soundstage 12. The visitor center at Jurassic Park, it was even built inside of there. We've redressed these sets to be Chicago, London, Gotham City, and Batman Returns even. The area that we happen to be driving through today is known as London Square here, because that's a bit of the feel that it does have, although we have changed it before. In fact, we took this big wall on the left-hand side in The Amazing Spider-Man, threw a green screen over the entire thing, and turned this all into New York City. Recently out here, you could have seen the finale episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine it filmed here. Spider-Man 2 a couple years back filmed out here. Will and Grace and their return.
Fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street. That was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, good idea.
When people ask me, all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive, and train with the best stunt people.
You're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character of this. He's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature of Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive.
You're going to have the opportunity to snap some photos of some very recognizable cars on your left-hand side here, like Battle Ready Kit from the remake of Knight Rider, Magnum PI's Ferrari, even some of our Back to the Future cars. Now, as you pass by the Jurassic World gyrosphere, people sometimes ask you what happened to the glass bubble that was around it originally. Well, there never actually was one. Because of all the troubles and difficulties and challenges of filming with reflective surfaces, we just figured it would be easier to digitally add it in, and that's what they have done. And of course, you saw some of our Fast and Furious cars. Fast and Furious 9, one of our biggest grossing blockbusters of all time, so of course we are already in pre-production for Fast and Furious 10. And then next year we shut down all production on this lot so we can focus only on Fast and Furious movies for the rest of our time here. So it's a very exciting time. But you know what? Let's take you to a little jungle island off the coast of Costa Rica.
To Jurassic Park.
Ooh, I know what you're thinking. Jurassic Park, I've seen those movies. Sounds romantic. What you're going to see around you are sets and prop pieces that were used in Spielberg's Jurassic Park films, including the mobile lab right there on your left-hand side from the Lost World. You might notice a lot of it's made of plywood. It's lightweight, it's cheaper. And we just painted a little metallic. Looks great on screen. Either side of us, you'll find cages with Where are the dinosaurs? They're supposed to be in their cages. Oh no, they're loose. They're attacking the first car. They're going after the rest of the tram. Oh no, I cannot believe that I went to college for this. That right there is our proof that extinction's really never permanent in Hollywood. Production. Problem is, let's face it, you're in Southern California where most days are pretty much like this. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's 70 degrees. We love it, we're not complaining. So if we need something different, we gotta help Mother Nature along a little. So that's why we're here in Old Mexico, where if we need thunder and lightning, we just cue it up. Thunder would be a pre-recorded sound effect that we play back in post-production normally, but we'll play it live for you today. Lightning, flash some strobe lights on and off above us, there you go. Rain, and flip another switch. Quite simply an overhead sprinkler system that shoots water straight up in the air, lets it fall back down to the earth naturally. That's how you make rain in Hollywood. The key to making it work? Don't tilt your camera up. As long as you don't see the sprinkler heads, you keep it all at eye level there. It's gonna work out great. Now the only little challenge you're going to run into is, of course, water is clear. It doesn't show up real well on film. So there's a lot of different techniques, many lighting techniques to make it pop better. I like old Hollywood's technique, adding powdered milk into the mix, what we used to do. So we're going to turn off these rain effects here. This area of the property does have a tendency to flood. And oh my gosh, there is a flash like right after our trolley. Oh no, I'm scared again. Wow. Well, once again, guys, I know exactly what you're thinking. How are you not a famous actor? That was very convincing. Thank you. 4 years at Juilliard. It was a waste of money. We make our way into a little bit drier part of Old Mexico. This was featured not long ago at all on Star Trek Picard as a Romulan refugee planet. It's also featured in one of my all-time favorite movies, The Three Amigos, with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. Another favorite of mine, Nacho Libre. And it could even be seen in the first season of HBO's Westworld. But now we're going to cross the border here, right on into the Old West. I'd like to welcome you here to Old Six Points, Texas. Out here in 6 Points, we film countless TV, television westerns, big movies. Biggest names in Hollywood history for the Cowboys worked out here. Luke Gibson, Audie Murphy, Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne, the Duke himself. You could have even seen it featured not long ago, and what I think is a modern classic, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was about 20 minutes in the middle of the movie right out here. Now, if you look at these brick walls out here, you'll notice real fast they're not brick at all. It's very traditional for us to just staple and tack up plaster of Paris molds onto the side to make it look like brick, and then it's cheap and easy to tear it off and make it look like some other kind of material if we need to. In the old Western sets, though, every once in a while you'd find walls that were made of foam rubber. The reason? Cowboys always got themselves in these big fight scenes. Punch, push, thrown up against it easily breaks away with almost any pressure applied to it. Yeah. You might know it, though, by its other name, IKEA. Turning this next corner is going to take you into a favorite location of mine. I mentioned this before. It's where The Good Place filmed, when we turned it into The Good Place. So I'll play that clip back for you so you can see it both in real life as well as on screen. But officially it is known to us as an area, Little Europe. Much of Little Europe was originally built for All Quiet on the Western Front, Universal's very first Best Picture Oscar Award-winning film. like I said with our New York street, although we call this little Europe, we can almost change it in any country you want in the world by simply changing the language on the signs. Over the years, we've seen it as Kanyakumari, India, in NBC's Heroes, Paris, France, in The Muppets, France again in the remake of the Peter Sellers classic, The Pink Panther, starring Steve Martin. And probably what makes this area so near and dear to our hearts is that it's known as the birthplace of the classic movie monster. Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, they all got their starts right out here. These relatively cheaply by recycling the same sets in all of them over and over again, and by using characters that were already in public domain. And people were looking for escapism at the time, so there were big profits. We just got clear to stay here inside of Soundstage 50. Soundstage 50 is dressed like a San Francisco BART station, although if you ever watched the Fox television series Bones, you might have seen it in this episode where he turned it into a metro station in Washington, D.C.
When I talked to the guy, his arms.
That's with the FBI?
Yeah, we hear about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
You alright?
Now this is a Well, all right, folks. We are in California. We do get little earthquakes sometimes. Nothing to worry about. We'll just, oh boy. Hang on, I think this might be the big one. Congratulations, you just survived the earthquake, the big one. Simulating an 8.3 earthquake in San Francisco, California. Large-scale mechanical effects like those made our disaster films popular back in the 1970s. For us here at Universal, I'll start off with Airport 70. It stars my favorite, Dean Martin. Here's how that scene from Bone started off. It's a great combination of mechanical effects along with modern digital technology. New England town called Amity Island. They might remember from the 1975 blockbuster hit, Jaws. Now, I realize a lot of people have heard the old one where they're here at the studio tour. We were terrorized by the 25-foot man-eating shark. I don't want you to worry about that. Of course, we have since caught the shark. He's hanging over there on the right where he's a little bit smaller than we expected, actually. But not to worry. There is a police diver out there in the bay making sure everything's perfectly fine and safe. You might see Officer George come up for some air here in just a moment. I think I see him come up. Yeah, it's right next to that shark. Where? Yeah, shark. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, he knew it was a risky job. Took a lot of guts to go out there. And there they are. All right, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to pull you up to safety. We are going to hide you behind these highly explosive gasoline tanks. Now, out in the water, you're going to see a yellow buoy. There is shark bait tied to it just in case something like this were to ever happen. So keep your eyes on that. Hopefully he'll take... Oh, he's taking it. That's great. Oh, he's taking the dog, too. And he's broken a gas line. Well, can't get worse. All right, help me out, guys. We need to know where the shark is so we can safely evacuate. He's got to reemerge. He just need to know where. Well, you just met Bruce, the mechanical man-eating great white shark from Jaws, who proved himself to be as big of a terror off-screen as he was on-screen. Allow me to explain. First day of filming, cast, crew, equipment, they're all set. They're ready to film out at Martha's Vineyard. They put Bruce in the water, and he sinks directly to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. We're up to the cast and crew to nickname the production Flaws, because the mechanical shark hardly ever worked. Here to tell us a little more about the trials and tribulations of working with the mechanical menace is director himself, Steven Spielberg.
As a much maligned shark, the shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, "The shark is not working." Repeat, "The shark is not working."
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there, and had the biggest control time. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Beethoven's Fifth, originally built for the best little whorehouse in Texas back in 1982 with Dolly Parton. Coming up on our left-hand side, you're going to see the entrance to a street known as Colonial Street, although a lot of people know it best as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. It's been closed a lot these days because we have been using it for filming and redressing it for the television show Kenan, as well as Never Have I Ever. Even if you didn't watch Desperate Housewives, I bet you're familiar with that street. We went to the warehouses and pulled out some more of our picture cars to put on display. You'll find a few more sitting here on your right-hand side. One of my favorites, a little green Mini Cooper there, that's Mr. Beans from Mr. Beans Holiday. He also has some Fast and Furious cars, including one of Dominic Toretto's Dodge Chargers, piano moving truck from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, even a Bumblebee from Transformers. Of course, I'm not so sure I'd want to park my car out here. The next door neighbors, some real psychos. That's right, you're arriving at the Bates Motel in the original Psycho House, where Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. Now, it doesn't get much use anymore, but... no. Is that Norm Bates? Sure, there's nothing to worry about. All those rumors are far behind him, I'm sure. Oh my. Well, they always said Norm was a real ladies killer, a lady killer. I didn't know what they meant. Well, you know, let's just pretend we didn't see anything. Obviously, he hasn't noticed us. So, oh, hi, we're just gonna get out of here. We'll drive right up past Mother's house. If you get up here and go, oh, it's not the original, it's much smaller. No, this is the original. We built it on a smaller scale, though, so it'll look farther away on the hillside.
12 vacancies. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies.
As we pass by the Psycho house into the backyard, you're going to see the colossal crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. What you'll see around you is the remains of the neighborhood where Tom Cruise hid out during the alien attack of the film. The plane, believe it or not, is an actual real Boeing 747, destroyed for the sole purpose of this movie and this one in particular scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around vision. For them to sit down and talk about the war of the world. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing great. Listen to me. Listen now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay. Got them closed? Okay. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. Two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle and take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come. He'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you state guys stepping in. Just whenever you feel like.
Mute him.
Don't mute him.
That's me. We're moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. I'm taking care of business. Outside.
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party, and the what other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Damn.
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Hey, let's back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Sure traced us. House can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. I'm on the leashes, all warmed up, right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
All right, guys, you've been holding on to 3D glasses for some time. Go ahead and throw them back on. Bruce a lot into the San Fernando Valley. And you can see our friends next door, Warner Brothers Studios, past them, Disney Studios, ABC Studios, maybe the old NBC Studios, where for so many years the great Jalen and Johnny Carson both hosted The Tonight Show from. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Park's open until 7 tonight. Make sure to check out the newest attraction in the park, Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash. It's a charming little adventure.
Nice always being here.